Welcome to today's video. Today I want to talk about the achievements on the self-healing journey. Obviously, it's not about the achievements, it's about the journey itself. But you will learn along the self-healing journey how to work with yourself, how to work with your energy, and so obviously there must be some goals, and there are many goals. For sure, the first one and the most obvious one is I talk a lot about chronic pain, therefore, going on the self healing journey and getting further is a lot about having a pain free life, an easy life in that sense. Without the patterns of self punishment. Therefore, we learn along this journey how to, and this is what I talk about in all of my daily videos, how to relieve a lot of those patterns where you're creating your pain. Because if you're experiencing chronic pain, then you're creating it, and you're creating it by the subconscious, mainly by the subconscious and conscious patterns of accumulating tension. And that gets me to the next and also important part, where along the self-healing journey you not only learn how to release the tension, and mainly our easiest way to do so, we first learn how to work with ourselves. So we tune into ourselves, we tune into our breath, tune into our body. Therefore, we get to know ourselves with ourselves. But then the outcomes of this are that eventually you're also able to release the tension while confronted with all the situations in your life, and as it goes also with other people. Therefore, the uh, big part of the achievements is also that things won't be triggering for you anymore once you accept yourself at most parts. And I want to say that, okay, maybe it's a lifelong journey and you don't have to have it all figured out throughout the whole journey, maybe throughout this whole experience. But I know that you can come a, a far way, really, you can come really far in the sense of really being more satisfied with your life, having an easy life, and um, just flowing with the flow, like flowing through life. If your previous experience was that life was extremely painful and horrible and dramatic and stressful. And also, this brings me to a very important thing, that is that ease and that easiness of the life is again something we can create. It's quite easy along the way while we understand the concepts of self-love and self-worth. Once we understand that, I talk about this a lot, about self-love, self-worth. Once we understand that we matter and our value is based on, or in a healthy way, is just here. It is. If you are, then you are valuable. If you are, then you are worthy. Okay, so it is a lot of the achieving is towards self-satisfaction, and we achieve self-satisfaction if we experience ourselves in different situations, and we basically learn how to cope with those situations in a healthy way, with being there with ourselves, being our best friend, being our own biggest protector, being our own guardian. Okay, this is a lot what it's about. And once you master this, and once you learn how to be there for yourself, no matter what, in whatever situation, then the situations become easier. then there's no basically outer influence. And this is what it's all about, that the belief in the reality is just a construct of our mind. We believe that what we see is true and it cannot change. But that's one of the biggest limitations, because we need to understand that we create through us. Therefore, anything can change at any moment if we believe it. And we can learn to believe it by giving ourselves what we need. And what we need are the feelings of self-worth, self-satisfaction, self-gratitude, joy, and all of those, and richness, and abundance, and all of those are already hidden inside us. But if we weren't used to experiencing those emotions, then it won't be safe for us to receive them, not only those emotions, but the energy that we connect to that emotion, right? And the emotion of abundance will then attract the actual abundance into your life. Or if it comes to pain, the emotion of relief, being able to feel the relief, will then attract into your life more situations of relief, and basically all of them. Okay, this is one of the achievements, or these are the achievements as a whole, that we can achieve everything we want. But we first need to understand that what we want is probably different from other people around us. Okay, we can share it with others, but if we feel like we need to have something we don't have, then it's outside of our comfort zone. Therefore, it's probably gonna take some steps before it starts surrounding you. And those steps will have to come from within. So you will have to experience that achievement, that feeling of achievement, of whatever it is you want to multiply in your life. Okay, and these are important. That also the important thing to know is that the beginning, as a start in my feel, or as hard as it might feel or seem in the beginning, over the time, over some period of time, everything multiplies. Therefore, whatever you're doing, this is like building habits. Okay, so basically building habits is something, in a way, that I cannot fully resonate with at the state where I am at now. It was a tool, I would say, in throughout my life, building healthy habits. But in my um, in my opinion, those can be very limiting, and we can become slaves of our habits, that we don't see the outcome of that. The healthy habit can become unhealthy to us if we become slaves of that habit. Okay, so we can enslave ourselves in healthy habits, meaning following something with willpower. But we will not get there to relief. You won't get to relief with willpower of, okay, I'm gonna master relief, and every day I'm gonna practice relief, and I'm gonna get there. Yes, in a way, consistency and continuous experiencing of this does fortify whatever you're doing. Wherever you focus your energy on, that's what it's gonna grow. And yes, that is how you're gonna build up relief, but it's not gonna come from the place of willpower. Okay, I'm gonna master it, because that relief will be different in every single situation. In every situation, relief might be something a bit different. Okay. And the same goes to all these achievements, right? Because they are significant, and your life starts changing quite fast, once you're ready to take over the whole responsibility over yourself, over how you feel, and you realize you can change it. You can change how you feel and therefore change your whole reality of what you're surrounding yourself with, right? And then the achievements aren't gonna be the physical achievements on a self-healing journey aren't as important. That's why I can't sell you a product that's gonna cure you, as I thought would be my journey once when I was little and experiencing migraines. And I thought one day I'm gonna solve or invent a cure for migraines, and I'm gonna share with everyone, because like no one should be experiencing this pain, right? But only later I realized that we have the cure inside us. We just have to activate it. We can activate the cure for curing, basically curing our pain, but it's not curing. It's coming back to the time, or not to the time, but it's coming back to our ability of living a pain-free life. And even an extension of this is a stress-free life, a worry-free life, an easy life, a simple life. And as much as naive and immature as this can seem, it's so easily achievable if you stick to a few rules, that everything's neutral, life is simple, and you implement these new patterns into your life, because deep down you already know the answers. You know that life should be simple. You know that everything should be simple. You have this engraved within you, but it's been covered with layers and layers of not knowing, of trying to fit in, of trying to make someone else happy, and basically of not knowing how to use all of these superpowers, right? Because the intuition can be so strong, but sometimes it can lead you to situations where you disappoint someone, or where you do what you need to do for you, and it's not gonna satisfy everyone's needs, and it's not supposed to. But sometimes the illusion of that it's supposed to, and we're supposed to do the right thing, can be so strong, and it can be limiting us. But we need to understand that the right thing is the right thing for us, because if it's the right thing for you to lead a pain-free life, which should be the best thing, then the ones that are meant to be there with you on that journey to achieving that will be there. Okay, they will be there no matter what you do. And those that want to stay in the mode of a pain life and want to be convinced that pain is the only way, life is hard, you just have to get on with it, as I used to believe, then those are gonna stay there. And that's okay, but that's their decision, and the same way it's your decision. So if whatever I'm saying, probably to someone that is still in that strong belief that life is hard and painful, and that's just how it is, and you have to get on with it, where I very well remember where I used to be, then probably everything I'm saying here in every video is going to be triggering for them. And it was for me. It took me 5 years before I could adopt the first belief that was migraine is self-punishment. Okay, it was so triggering for me. And I wasn't even ready, but it was the first spark. And the way, like, as how far you take this self-healing journey, that's up on you. That's on you. And how far you're willing to go in getting to know yourself, accepting yourself, and relieving yourself from your past self, which was convinced that life is hard and painful. It's gonna be letting go of those parts of yourself that needed that protection of the pain. You have built a castle around yourself that has protected you from being vulnerable, and everything became triggering because you just closed yourself up in that pain. And that's okay, because that was the best way you knew how to deal with the situations. But luckily for you, I'm here to remind you and to tell you even what I once needed to hear, that you can change this. And there are just so many achievements along the way, which then probably one of the highest levels I would be, you're gonna be, no matter who you're talking to, no matter how close you are, no matter how they know you and you think they know how to push your buttons and they know how to dive deep into your weakness, then there's not going to be any more weakness. You're going to be accepting all of you, and you're going to be accepting all of others. And the acceptance of all is one of the biggest achievements. And in that state, it's a state of total alignment, and it is totally achievable. And it's a state where it's neutral. Everything is great. It's a state where you can accept yourself for who you are, and you can accept others for who they are, and you don't need to be triggered by them, threatened by them, or feel less worthy in different situations. And that's, yeah, it takes some practice, but it's totally achievable. And not even in a long time, not even in such a long time, because working with energy is working with yourself, working with your energy, with your emotions, and you can always go deeper as you wish to go, to get to the root of that emotion. And when you decided that it's not safe for you to experience it, or when you decided you have to experience it in order to protect yourself, because that is what pain is. Also, one form of it is the self-protection. So yeah, less busy. And oh yeah, that I wanted to mention one last thing, which is like a bit more practical, I would say, because got me thinking, this achievement, this topic that came to me. Maybe I thought of how my life looks today, and sometimes I even think it's too easy, because there's some residue of the patterns where I used to be extremely busy and overworked and overwhelmed and hurt, and like, yeah, I was just like pushing hard, and I just put on a brave face and just went for it, and no one would know how I felt inside, and or just that I felt as much pain, because now slowly opening up about it is different, because yeah, people actually don't know how much pain you've been experiencing. They can never know, especially if you've been hiding it. And this is one of the quite interesting things with coming back to having days where you don't have pain, which that was a sci-fi to me not so long ago even. But the one thing I wanted to say to this topic, to the achievements, is that your life can become extremely calm, extremely unbusy, as much as now you feel like you have to be there, you're irreplaceable, you have to do the work, because who else is gonna do it? And actually, this comes from a hurt point, from a hurting part of you, if you believe you have to be busy, that you have to be constantly doing, because that is a sign of not enough self-worth. And the more you're going to be working in order to escape yourself and occupying yourself, because this can be quite easily seen with someone who cannot be present for a long time or at all. That's a big sign, or an easy sign to recognize that it's from a point of pain, of hurting, because our self-worth has been based on how much we're doing, how much we're achieving. Okay, the society has been built or manipulated in the past this way, that you originally coming here are nothing, and you have to work in order to achieve something. Okay, and that's where, when we start going over ourselves, because we neglect how we feel, what we need, how we are, and then and what's more, we feel bad about it. And so with that comes the busyness, comes the I have to, and then with that busyness, because we're always busy, we never have a time of nothing to do, because that's not the trend, that's not quite I would say. And so with that busyness comes the escape from yourself, and then we end up burn in the burnout, or in the exhaustion, or in the not knowing, not knowing the answer. So the self-healing journey is about coming back to your state of being, of realizing that any need, especially excessive need for whatever is that you're doing, any form of addiction, whether it's addiction to work, whether it's addiction to money, or to being busy, or to experiencing pain, all of these, or food, or whatever the addiction, or scrolling, or being constantly connected, or things like this, you can come back to yourself with being okay that you're just being. And one sign of this is the fear of missing out, the fear we're losing time here. Because once we come back to ourselves, we know that our time, we can live our life in a satisfied way, that no matter what we're doing, we're gonna be satisfied, and we're gonna be choosing what we're doing, and we're gonna be satisfied doing that. Okay, all the actions we're gonna be doing are gonna bring us satisfaction if we're satisfied with ourselves. So no matter what you're gonna be doing, if you're satisfied with yourself in that matter, you're gonna be satisfied that you're spending the time with that action. And that action can be doing nothing, or it can be cooking, or it can be cleaning, or it can be working, or it can be just being there, right? And so this is very important to understand, that the way your life, your reality is looking right now, is only a construct of your mind, of what you believe right now. And tomorrow it can be different, and the day after it can be completely different. So you choose to embody that person, but it's gonna be in the beginning, if you're going from the extremely busy, overwhelmed, and painful situation to that easy, nothing to do, I'm okay, whatever I'm doing is good enough, or is more than good enough, and I have enough of everything I need. I trust life is gonna provide for me and take care of me. Then it's always gonna be the transition from that, right? So in the beginning it might be harder, because you're gonna be surrounded with all the ones that have it the same way, that have it, that busyness, that engraved need for busyness, that engraved need for stress, engraved need for pain, etc., etc. And slowly you're gonna transition to that relief, to that calmness, to that less busy life. And it's, yeah, up to you if that is what you really want, and if you're willing to experience the emotions of what you want in order to then manifest the things you want into your life. So this was great. I thought I'm not gonna do another video today, but this came to me very strongly and resonates very strongly. It's a very strong topic on the self-healing journey. In a way, of course, we want to know, like, what am I achieving? Why am I going to be doing it? Because it can get uncomfortable. So it's like, is that worth it? But definitely it's so worth it, and every step of the way is going to bring you a lot of, if you want to call it that way, achievements, which then are going to basically engrave into your whole being. So it is an overall approach to life, like being okay what is, whatever life throws at you is for you, understanding that you can do it. You're strong enough to do it, to handle it, basically. Handle yourself if you're willing to handle that life that you want. And yeah, it can be so much easier than we think. It's actually very, very simple. It is mainly consist of you being there. You being there, experiencing, learning from that, and then just being there and allowing it to arrive into your life and just receive, okay, yeah, this is safe. Once that emotion becomes safe, then it starts flooding your reality. As it becomes safer, the more you're experiencing it, and obviously the less you're experiencing that opposite emotion of, for example, pain and relief. Right, so thank you for being here. This one was a bit longer, but I'm glad I did this video because it's very important. And thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.